Hello friends, I'm FIDE instructor Atul Dahale and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to solve a very deadly mate in 10 combination. Well, the position which you can see on the board is actually a composition made by a very famous composer named Stamma, and this composition was made by him in 1792, quite long back, right? So your task is to find out the mate in 10 in this position from white side. White is on the move. Okay, I request you to pause this video, set up the position on your board, or you can even check out the thing on your mobile also or on your screen also if it's comfortable for you. But still I will say that put down the position on your board and then write down the solution. Okay, so I hope that you are thinking and setting up. I'll give you some time. Okay, well, I hope guys you have found out your solution, and I'm going to show you the solution now even if you have not found out. The first things first, okay, in any position you should always think about three things. First one comes the check, then the capture, and then the threats. That is called as the CCT principle. And in this position, if you start with the checks, then you can see there is one satisfactory, okay, two checks are there, one and this, but both of these checks looks very shaky, right? Because in both the variation the rook will be free, but we need to calculate. Okay, so as far as my intuition comes here, we should capture rook into b7. Okay, what is really happening after rook into b7? Well, you can see that king doesn't have any squares to move around because this bishop is controlling whole diagonal, this knight is controlling this square, and this rook is controlling this whole file, correct? So the king must capture the rook, and after he captures the rook, now what to do? If you capture the pawn, obviously your rook will be free, so that you cannot really do that thing. And if you play bishop to c6, which looks the best move in this position, then he has king c7. Okay, for the people who think like, okay, I can get some material and I can capture here, but the sad part is like you are also getting checkmated here. Okay, so you are in urgency. One more thing I want to tell you, that when you are in urgency, you have to find checks one after another. So you don't have any time to capture any random material here. You have to give checks because you are getting one move checkmated. Your king is stuck here. Okay, so white needs to play bishop to c6 check. King has only one square, that is on c7. Now what to do? Well, you have only one check which is satisfactory. I'll say rook a7 check. Now king has two squares, one is king b8 and another is king to c8. Well, king b8 is the best defense which we will be looking at, but we'll see what happens if king c8 is played. If king c8 is played in this position, then can you guess the move? Well, I hope that you have found out this variation also, that knight to d6 check. Okay, he has only one square, here he needs to go. Now rook b7 check, king has again only one square. Now you can see that this discovered check can be possible in this variation, right? So we will go back in this case with rook to b6 check. King needs to go somewhere. Okay, there are other moves also possible, but I feel like with rook, I mean to say with the rook, okay, rook b6 I have selected because of this knight to c8 check and mate. Because if you put the rook somewhere here, then if you give the knight c8 check, then the king will be having a6 square. When the rook is on b6, it is controlling this square, and now it's a check and mate. So this was the variation if he plays king to c8. I hope it is clear to you. Now we will see rook to king to b8. Okay, so king b8 is played. Now obviously we need to give this check, rook b7. Again he has two squares, king c8 and king a8. If he plays king c8, then obviously knight d6 is a check and mate. No need to discuss about this thing. King a8 is the most important move. And now if you go for this thing, then the thing is that there is no knight c8 check like in the previous variation. But we have a very interesting idea in this position. It's called as the removing the defenders. So here in this position, the bishop on d8 is the main defender, and white removes that defender with a very interesting thing. He plays rook to d7 check. King has only one square. Now we give the check. Okay, you can play this king a7 or king c7, but king a7 will lead to one move checkmate with rook a8 check and mate. And if you play king to c7, then rook d7 check. Again he has two squares, king b8 and king c8. If he plays king c8, then knight to b6 check. King has only one square, and now rook to b7 is a check and mate because we are controlling everything, and it's a check and mate. Okay, last thing is like king b8. If you play, then we have this rook b7 check. King will go to a8 or c8. If king a8, then knight b6 checkmate. If king c8, then knight into d6 check. King will come to d8 square, and now the finally the 10th move which I was talking about is rook d7 check and mate. Very beautiful combination, right? I hope that you have enjoyed this combination, and if you like this combination, you can share this video with your friends also, guys. Maybe they will scratch their head and try to find out the answer here. I hope that you will be coming back with something interesting. If you have any comments or something about this video, do write it down in the comment section, guys. And if you are new to my channel, don't forget to click on the red button, that is the subscribe button, and we'll meet very soon. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care. Goodbye.